I like cheese.
Dad's Dungeon Dudes.
Well, welcome back to another adventure through the Verdant Awakening. My name is Chris, I'm your DM for this adventure, and around the table today we have...
Thornsley Shadow Scale being played by Teddy.
Ruben being played by Ebonyclaw Shadow 2.
Isaiah playing Saldrin, the one who slays.
Hugo being played by Gabriel,
Or the other way around.
And so last time we played, you guys had exited your brand new home, the Hero's Hearth in the Radiant Citadel, and you stepped through a portal into a totally new world called the Jade Spires. Now, do you remember how everything was made beautiful? Everything had been made into this beautiful fragile glass. And there, as you entered this town or entered this world, you met Lyra, and she told you the sad tale of Sylas the Glass-Shaper, who really valued everything to be perfect. Now, Sylas is busy freezing his entire forest into this perfect, unmoving glass to protect it from the blight. But in trying to make everything perfect, he stopped the forest from actually growing and living. And so you braved the glass forest and you came across this massive, fragile glass bridge that went across a giant, deep canyon.
And I just flew over.
Yeah, so instead of walking across, between the party, you got incredibly creative. Some of you magically skated across by turning water into ice and then using, I think, daggers as a set of ice skates. Others misty stepped and blinked safely to the other side. Someone just sprouted wings and flew his way to the other side. And so this escape led you straight through the towering doors into Sylas's crystal palace. Now, once you stepped inside to investigate, and that's when all of a sudden you heard this massive thud as the crystal doors slammed behind you, leaving you in this hall of mirrors. So now you find yourselves trapped entirely in this maze of mirrors with 100 versions of yourself staring back at you. Each time you move, they move in perfect sync. So that's where we find ourselves. I think last time as we ended up, Gabriel, you said you wanted to throw a dagger at the glass.
No, that was him and all.
Oh, okay. Ebonyclaw, you decided you wanted to throw a dammer.
I wanted to see if I could fly over them. That's what I wanted to do.
You want to see if you can fly over them. Thornsley, you're still in your swarm of ravens form, and I think last time when we finished you cried out, "This is a fine house," using a cacophony ability perhaps. But anyway, the sound... you just quietly walked in and probably stared.
I wanted to they could flame the whole thing.
Sure.
Because it's ice. Ice melts the fire.
So these are mirrors. So that's where you find yourselves, and that's where we're going to start our adventure today. So you are standing in this hall of mirrors, and you look around and you see just thousands of reflections of yourself staring back at you. But you do notice something a little bit different about the reflections as you look at them. So by this stage, you have a couple of scrapes and bruises. Maybe your armor as you fought in various battles has become scratched in places. There's a bit of dirt on your robes or your clothing as you've walked around, and yet when you look at the mirrors in this room, you see each one staring back at you is in absolutely perfect perfect state.
Yeah, doppelganger?
So, well, I guess you'll find out. So when you see where there is a mark on your armor or dirt on your face, what's staring back at you is kind of the perfect version of that, immaculately clean, or something. There's no damage being shown or anything like that. And so they look exactly like you, but perhaps a little bit too perfect. So Ebonyclaw's scales are polished. They've got this brilliant shine to them.
I don't like polish.
Gabriel has no dirt on his boots. Thornsley's wildness seems to have been completely tamed. And even Saldrin's robes have 0 wrinkles on them. So a perfect Ebonyclaw looks back, a perfect Saldrin looks back, a perfect Thornsley looks back.
Perfect Bob, Jeff, and William look back. They're the names of the crows.
And so that's where you find yourselves. What do you want to do? We'll start with Saldrin. I should say that in this adventure, as the doors have shut, the control crystal has winked out from, I think it was Ruben who had it last time.
No, I had it.
Oh, Gabriel had it last time, and so it lights up around the neck of Thornsley today.
Around the neck of Jeff, Bob, and William.
Yes. All right. So, Saldrin, what would you like to do?
To walk up to the mirrors and say,
So you want to take your mace and try and smash the mirror.
Yeah.
So as you walk up to the mirror, you see basically your perfect self walking up to the front, closer to the mirror, and it raises its mace in perfect sync to yours. And so as you hit the mirror, to your surprise, you find that the mirror is not made of glass as you would have expected, but you connect to something solid on the other side. And it's like a ripple in a pond. Where your mace hits the mirror, there are these waves that ripple out, and the mirror in front of you forms back into its perfect shape. No damage has been done.
that's so doppelganger.
We'll go to Thornsley.
Well, would I be able to maybe do a perception check or something to see what's going on here?
So you can do an investigation check if you like. Roll a investigation check for me.
Investigation.
Ruben can just teleport to the other side.
No, Misty.
I'm going to use my heroic inspiration for that.
Okay, what did you roll?
5.
Alright, so heroic inspiration, and instead you get a 2. So you have a look around, you notice nothing remarkable, and then you think, oh, maybe there's something over there. And so with your 2, you wander over to one side of this hall, looking closely at the mirror in front of you, and it just bumps your nose against it, and another one of these ripples emerge from the mirror, and that nothing happens. Ebonyclaw.
Firstly, is the ceiling low, and is this like a maze where the ceiling's up there and then the walls are here?
So this is not so much a maze. I misspoke a little bit when I said that. But what you do see is that there is a ceiling extremely far high up, almost as far as your eye can see. It's a massive vaulted structure. The mirrors are hanging down throughout by these kind of crystal threads hanging from the ceiling. They don't move, but there are just thousands and thousands of them.
Okay, then I'm going to try and use one of my daggers to cut a crystal thready thingy.
Yeah, so you reach up above one of the mirrors and you have a hack at one of these crystal threads, and you roll a roll an attack dice for me.
Okay. 18.
Okay, so you cut, you slice across with your dagger, and it chinks a bit out of the thread, and you think, oh, this is great. So you keep slicing and slicing, and you cut deeper and deeper into the thread hanging from the top. And as you do so, every time you cut, you get a little bit further in, and yet even as you look at it, you see that the thread magically restores itself, and so no matter how much you cut, you just can't seem to cut through it. Gabriel, what would you like to do?
I would like to try and fly over the thingy-majig.
Well, you can't because with your wings, they would get entangled in the threads hanging these thousands of mirrors from the ceiling. So you can only fly up maybe half a foot, and your wings are about to disappear because it would have been about a minute already since you walked into this room, and your celestial revelation only lasts a minute. But you do hop up, you fly above, and you just see, as you do so, you see there are just, again, mirrors everywhere throughout this hall.
Do I see how long the hole goes for?
Good question. So the hall ends up being about 60 feet in length. It's not terribly long, but there are just all these threads hanging from the top. You cannot, however, see, you can see the wall on the other side, but you cannot get there. Saldrin.
Can I do an Arcana check on the mirrors?
Yeah, sure. Roll for Arcana.
Could I help him?
No, you may not. 12.
So with a 12, you understand. So how would an Arcana check look if you were to do it? Describe for us what you do.
That's fine. Roll a 14.
Just looking at it.
Yeah, so you investigate, and as you do so, your magic sense as a cleric kind of activates, and you recognize that these mirrors are not natural. They are clearly a magical kind of mirror, and they have a kind of a conjuration type feel to them, which means that they are not naturally occurring. They have been created here by someone. They've been conjured up, and so that's what you understand from your 12. Thornsley.
Well, since crows are obviously smaller than giant celestial wings, would I be able to make Bob, William, and Jeff be able to like weave through the strings to see what's at the other side?
Roll a
Athletics?
no, roll an Arcana for me,
Can I roll with you?
because they are magical. He's in his druid form, so it's a magical type thing.
24.
Oh goodness! All right, so with the 24, your swarm of ravens form splits up, and the whole mass of ravens, no matter how many there are,
Bob's and Jeff's and William's.
there might be 100 of them, and they fly across, weaving their way through all the various glass strings from the ceiling, and you can get to the other side of the hall. You see there's a door on the other side, and
Tell us the way.
you see the door on the other side, and so you can land on the other side, or you can return back to your party. What do you want to do?
I'm going to land on the other side, and maybe if I just do actually, wait, where's my owl familiar? You know him. Like, since he's obviously following along, would he be able to, guide, Ruben, Isaiah, and Hugo, through the mirrors?
Yes. Let's see. How might we do this? Roll a performance check for me, I guess.
Please. Interesting checks.
Please. 12.
Okay, so you, in your swarm of ravens form, fly up, and you've got your owl, and you yell at your compatriots, follow the owl. And so the owl guides your people across. Now I need for Saldrin, for Ebonyclaw, and for Gabriel to each make a survival check for me, please.
Should I be worried?
Survival.
Survival.
Plus 3 though. I've got, same.
11.
So 11, 5, and 21.
5.
All right, so you, Ebonyclaw, you manage to make your way and follow the owl perfectly across, and you join Thornsley on the other side in his swarm of.
The Bob's, Jackson, Williams.
On the other side, so you managed to get there. So with a survival score of 5, Saldrin, you follow along the owl, and it's wonderful. You think, oh, this is great, easy to follow, and before you know it, Ebonyclaw has rounded a corner and following the little owl, and then disappears, and you find yourself stuck looking at 1,000 different versions of you, and you are essentially abandoned, and so you're stuck in the middle of this hall of mirrors, and you cannot, you kind of look around to see which way Ebonyclaw has gone, and in doing so you become completely disorientated, and you can't even understand which way you'd come from or which way you're going. So you're completely lost in the center of the maze. Gabriel, you make it a little bit further into the maze, but then the same thing happens. You are now completely stranded in the middle. Ebonyclaw.
If I'm at the end, are there any more mirrors, like just leading straight to a door?
So in front of you, what you see standing next to Thornsley is that there is a door that obviously leads somewhere. It is closed at this point in time. Looking back at the mirrors are mirrors on both sides. So staring back at you is still the perfect versions of yourself, without any way of they're just there. They're the perfect version of yourself.
So I'm going to walk back into the maze and walk into a mirror to see if it's a portal or illusion of some kind. Because after what happened with that illusion door, I'm suspicious.
What illusion door?
He's talking about the gate of sacrifice from the Crimson Canyon. All right. So I need you to roll for me a.
I'm not good with investigation.
Yeah, I think let's do investigation this time.
Plus 2. Can I go for
7.
What did you get?
7.
All right, so now I need you to tell me, roll a d20 for me, just a standard d20 as well.
One I got 19 plus 3. What? 19.
All right, so that was the speed at which you were running into one of these mirrors. That was what that dice was
19
for.
k's per hour.
So you run basically as fast as you can into one of these mirrors.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
And so you hit the mirror with quite some force. As you do so, multiple ripples, like in a pond, as if you had thrown a giant stone into a pond, ripple out from the center of the mirror where you have hit it. You bounce back from that and you fall on the floor.
No, I hit the other mirror. Then I go, wee, bing, 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 bing.
Like a pinball machine.
So having fallen to the floor, you actually end up with a little bit of a confused state. So further investigation checks from you will have disadvantage, but you've taken no damage. It is very clear to you, however, that this mirror is a real physical thing.
Okay.
Saldrin, stuck in the middle of the maze.
What about trying to do a survival check to try to see my owl again?
Yeah, because I'm going to
Find it.
send it back. Because obviously only Ruben made it.
All right, so I'd like for you to roll a survival check again, and Thornsley, I want you to roll a. Let's do a performance check this time.
Okay.
You did it.
And who are you trying to find?
Well,
And then I got 20.
I'm trying to... Wait, how far ahead is Hugo from Saldrin?
So he's about three-quarters of the way through. Saldrin's stuck in the middle.
Okay, so I'm going to try and find Saldrin, but on the way, on the way back, I'm getting Hugo to follow me as well.
Okay, so you yell that out to Gabriel Broadwing, and what did you roll? A 12? What survival check?
I rolled a 20.
And a 14. So as you go, Gabriel spots the owl, and you turn around with the owl, having seen that Gabriel has found him, and he makes his way to the door as well. And so there's now Thornsley in his wild shape, Ebonyclaw standing there, a little bit dazed, and
I have a cross, and I have a big bump on my head, which I can use as a pin, so I'm just going to fall back and go...
So interestingly, the bump on your head is not reflected in the mirror that you see. And so with Gabriel now properly there, You fly out again with your little owlie friend and collect Saldrin, and Saldrin manages to successfully navigate the mirrors. And so all four of you are now standing in front of the door with these perfect mirrors, these mirrors that show the perfect versions of you reflecting back. Thornsley.
Make the door go open, so like open the door, or maybe like see if it's shut, like, or maybe if Saldrin wants to do like a detect magic.
Or maybe we should all do a strength check and try to open it.
Ebonyclaw, what do you think?
I'm gonna say this place is weird, except I'm confused, so I'm gonna say splendid weird.
So as you say that, you hear a faint cracking sound. Saldrin, you have the control crystal. No, Thornsley, you have the control crystal. So do you want to make a suggestion to Thornsley about what you want to do here? So you've suggested you want to open the gate.
Open the gate, or if anyone wants to do detect magic.
There's a detect magic option.
Or identify maybe for you.
Yes, I'll do detect magic.
So
so I'll just do detect magic.
So that's a ritual spell?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so for 10 minutes you find a little corner and you start doing your detect magic spell. Now remind us how detect magic looks for your character.
I put 2 fingers up to my head and then
That's identify.
Oh yeah, that's
identify. You go like that's definitely.
So as Saldrin finishes casting detect magic, he does discover that the entire room is brimming with magic. And so interestingly, the magic seems to be centered on the particular mirrors. Now what's happened in the meantime is that our recording devices actually stopped recording for about 3 minutes. We still don't understand quite why, but during that time the players decided that they would investigate the rest of this room. Now as it happens, as they started trying to investigate the room and actually leave through the door that they're standing in front of now, what happened is all the mirrors coalesced into one, and each of them was faced looking at their exact perfect reflection. So in the case of Gabriel, they saw an Asimar with no smudges on his clothes, his boots were perfectly shiny, his armor was undented, Thornsley's scales were, perfectly polished, there was no hint of damage in them. The same with the other two, and so when they looked at the mirrors, they saw the perfect version, the perfect reflection staring back at them. Eventually, the party decided to start attacking these perfect versions of them that are effectively doppelgangers of themselves. And so every attack that they had tried had failed. And so where we pick up the action is where the party has tried a couple of different ways to attack their counterparts, and then the counterpart replied with attacking them, but they had taken no damage themselves. So our friends were trying to defeat these doppelganger versions of themselves, but the doppelgangers could perfectly predict everything that the party was going to do. And so that's where we pick up the action. And again, apologies for the random cutting out of our recording, but we're back to the action now. Okay, so what we've discovered so far is that an attack to Gabriel did nothing, and
I'm not attacking it directly, am I?
So what does the phantasmal force do? In summary for the rest of us, please. Just in summary.
So basically, I can't ask phantasmal force, and something appears if the target fails an intelligence saving throw, and the thing is what I choose, and if it's harmful. And if it can damage the target, if the target is within 5 feet or in the creature's the thing's place, it will take 2d8 of psychic damage.
Okay, so you cast that. Describe for us what that looks like.
I'm going to go like waggly, waggly, waggly my fingers, and then mist comes out of them and goes right in front of my doppelganger, and then I'm going to do a slug cat holding a spear.
A slug cat is basically like this
Character you are in Rainbow.
yeah,
Actually,
which is a completely different game.
Not a slug cat, a lizard from Rain World, which are very harmful.
Okay. And so you do that,
And
and
now I will cast Healing Word on myself.
You
as a
can't
bonus
cast two-
action.
No, it's a bonus action.
oh, it's a bonus action. So you roll your damage for that attack, please.
2d8.
2d8 psychic damage.
10.
All right. So you see the shadow Ebonyclaw look at you with
You
kind
just
of,
say he's a shadow.
as in the shadow version, the bad one. And he sort of shakes his head, having taken the psychic damage, eyes glazing over. But then, even as you look, he blinks, and he's back to normal, and he takes no damage.
Well, even not resistant to necrotic damage anyway.
All right, so
Boy.
now it is Ebonyclaw's version. So he will. What's your standard weapon attack, Ruben?
Standard weapon attack,
Dagger.
or quarterstaff.
So he'll take out the and do a double-armed strike. Can you roll a two-armed strike attack for me, please?
When I'm healing myself with a new healing word. I'm back to max hit. Hit points.
Does that
Okay,
heal
then
you?
dagger attack over.
Double daggers.
Mm-hmm.
First one is a 6,
Okay, that misses.
and then the other one is a 15. So I just have to roll 1 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
1 damage. 6 damage.
No.
Okay.
Damage. Come on.
So it takes 6 damage. That's fine. Now it is Thornsley's turn.
Well,
So now you've got to think about something else.
but do you have command? My spells.
Do you have any necrotic?
No, I don't have command. Well, it. Would I be able to? Since I'm obviously out of my form, I am going to do thunderclap.
Okay. So roll for attack for thunderclap.
Touch one what?
Thunderclap is
Each creature with a 50. Oh no. No, okay. That won't work.
that's a cone, isn't it?
No, it's an emanation from me, 5-foot emanation, so that would have to technically get ribbon.
Okay. Sure.
I'm not going to do that. So, actually,
How would it get Ruben?
should I? Oh yeah, I'm going to do summon beast.
Okay. What does that do? It summons a beast.
Yeah, it summons like the spectral beast, which has a bunch of abilities of its own.
Sure, that's fine. All right.
And,
Describe for us what that looks like.
Spectral beast.
Well, I'm going to do like, so I summon it, and then it actually kind of resembles that Emerald Spirit Falcon at home, and like it's just this magnificent falcon. Its wings spread out, and then it like rushes forward with like in the air, just like it's penetrating, twirling around, and then it just and then it takes its claws out like talons, and then it plunges them right into my doppelganger's body.
Wait, I just had an idea. What if you can't damage your own doppelganger's body?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna do that one.
Okay. So you get this magnificent falcon, and as it comes out of you, a similarly looking beast appears in front of Shadow Thornsley, and it lasts for exactly as long as yours is. The talons sink into the Shadow Thornsley's shoulder or wherever it was attacking, and it makes these deep gashes into him. And so you can see the damage has been done, but as soon as the beast disappears, the Shadow Thornsley looks down, sees the gaping wounds, and looks up. Even as like glass, again they cover over and no damage is done.
But you said the damage has been done.
Yes, so it's instantly
Who's
healed.
taken damage?
Try damaging a Saldrin's nest.
So as all of
Did
this,
he fly away though, using his flyby trait, so he doesn't provoke an opportunity attack?
does it stay? Does that beast
Yeah,
stay?
it does.
Okay.
Concentration up to 1 hour.
All right, no, that's fine. You can decide what he does.
Flyby.
Wait.
All right, Saldrin, your turn.
Can he decide what he does? A bonus action?
I don't know. Can you?
Well, casting it obviously is an action. Well, okay, blah, 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 blah. Well, I think it. But it takes its turn immediately after yours, so I couldn't
okay,
do
so you
that.
couldn't do that. Yep, that's fine.
So I don't know. So technically, it didn't do anything. So it's just.
So describe for us where on the battlefield does this Falcon
It's just
live?
like to
Right
the
next to you.
left
Okay.
of me, and
All right. Well, remember that one's there. So
P. No, I mean bonus actions.
yeah, any bonus action?
Do I have a bonus action? Should I manifest? Nah, I won't.
All right. So then it's Shadow Thornsley's turn, and what's your preferred weapon, Thornsley?
Well, my preferred weapon, I use them. Do you mean like the weapon I use the most? Probably my quarterstaff.
Your quarterstaff. No, what's
I have javelins, but I use my quarterstaff more.
all right. So do an attack roll for me, please.
My quarterstaffy.
Mm-hmm.
Say my quarterstaff. 19, which hits, obviously. Wait.
And the
Cast
damage?
Shield.
Damage?
But I can cast shield.
How?
It's well, this is actually it's really weird, but like, so with shield, since I have my magic initiate thing,
Is it a reaction?
well, it is a reaction.
All right. Since you didn't use your bonus.
You're hit by an
Since you didn't do your bonus action, you have a reaction, so you can cast shield.
I'm going to use my shield, and now my
You take-
AC is the 20 for the next round.
Okay, so how? Yep, all right, that's fine, but you still take 3 damage.
I do. Did it hit?
Well, what was the?
It was 19, not 20.
It's for the next round.
No, for this round and the next.
Oh, for this round. Okay, then it misses. Very good. All right, Saldrin, we're up to you.
I'm gonna use study.
Okay, so you do a study action on what?
The mirror. Our doppelganger things.
Yeah, so as you do so, you kind of tune in and you look at them. Now, I want you to roll for me an investigation check, please.
Check.
Yeah, investigation check, yes.
13.
Okay, so with this 13, you realize that these clones, doppelgangers, whatever you want to call them, technically they're called flawless reflections. They are driven by a sense of flawless logic. So they love predictable perfection. They cannot, however, compute. They are constructs, so they're kind of like computers, and they cannot compute chaos, mistakes, silliness, or flaws.
Guiding bolt.
And so that is what you get with your 13. They are logically driven. They're driven by logic, and they don't deal with chaos or.
Doesn't it tell me their weaknesses and immunities and stuff?
In this case, the weakness is chaos, mistakes, silliness, embracing of flaws.
You would
anything.
do necrotic damage because you're a cleric and you would usually do radiant damage. So I mean, like, what are their immunities?
Yep. So their stat block immunity says they take 0 damage from all attacks: slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, fire, cold, etc. If an attack hits above its AC, then a cracked glass will instantly regenerate any damage that appears. They are immune to everything.
Except chaos. So
Let's get this body
So I have to be
started.
stupid to beat these guys.
Don't know.
Be stupid!
But that's your action, bonus action, or
No, it says that's my action.
that's your action. So do you want to use a bonus action?
Unpredictable. I don't have shit.
No, since I have shield, wouldn't that be unpredictable? Because usually only a wizard would be able to cast that. But
Remember, that's a
good.
copy of you. So it also has shield. It's a perfectly flawless version of you.
So it can do everything that we can do.
You can do everything you can do.
Wait. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Guiding bolt. Some guiding bolt Rubens one.
Well, you've taken your action, so now we're back to. So now it's Saldrin, the other Saldrin's version. So can you roll an attack roll for me with your mace, please?
The mace.
Oh, so it's going to move. First of all, it's going to move.
How did it use
and it's gonna move.
on me? Because it didn't move.
Oh yeah, it also had to move. Yep, that's fine. So Saldrin, can you do a mace attack roll,
I've
please?
got Alfie's butt in my face, so.
Alfie being the dog.
Alfie is a flawless. Thingy. Flawless pet.
All right. So roll a mace attack roll, please.
Along with that, you'll need to turn on location services for Siri. I don't know where you are. You can show me. Go to privacy settings. Select
Off Siri.
location services. Hi.
All right. So just tap somewhere else on your screen. That'll disable Siri again.
So my
All right.
DC?
Yep.
22.
Okay. So that hits, and do a damage roll.
7 damage.
So you take 7 damage, please. All right. So now we're back at the start. Gabriel.
This is what I'm going
Do
to
something
do.
stupid.
Okay, that's how they can be beaten.
No, do something unpredictable for an ASMR.
Shoot Ruben's doppelganger because they wouldn't know that you would do that.
So
So
Gabriel.
this is what I'll do.
No, do something stupid.
I'm going to jump up in the end, be like wing ding 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 wing ding 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 ding.
It's like doing the griddy in the air.
All right. So roll a performance check for me, please.
Performance in the griddy.
Performance in the griddy.
Ruben, give me advantage.
No, because I'm not the one doing it.
You have mine? Just one. Minus one.
Yay, performance.
What?
One.
So you attempt.
good.
You attempt that. You with your.
That is good.
That's good.
With your you jump up as you say, and in your ASMR form you look absolutely ridiculous. With your critical fail, you attempt to do the griddy and dance in front of your version, and it looks quizzically at you, and it says, "Dance, stand, dance, stand, dance, stand, dance, stand, dance, stand, dance, stand,"
And then his head explodes.
and then its head explodes,
No, its head
and it
explodes.
falls. It falls.
Don't peek.
No bread.
System error.
And so its head explodes and it falls to the ground dead, having lost its one and only hit point.
What?
Oh.
Okay, be stupid, everyone.
So next is Ebonyclaw.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm gonna try and let me just see what I'm worst at. Oops.
What are you worst
You're
at?
worst at. What are you
What am I-
worst
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go hunt a floor.
What am I
act like
worst
a cat,
at?
and I'm gonna say woof woof.
I'm gonna try an athletics check to see if I can do like a handstand, cartwheel,
That's predictable.
No, but I have +1, so if I get really low, I'll probably fail.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. Oof. Come on.
I don't have
7.
So explain to us what you're actually trying to do.
Okay, so I'm trying to do a handstand, which goes like handstand, roll over, do a roll, slide on my bum cheek, like one of my bum cheeks, slide on my other bum cheek. I'm gonna jump up, head, then spin on my head while sliding forward, and then jump up.
So halfway through whatever routine that was, the perfect version of you says this is not something I would ever have failed at, and so with your 7 you actually trip over your own legs and you fall flat on your face. You take 1 damage with a bloody nose, and the perfect version says, how is this the person that I'm supposed to have copied? And its eyes twitch and smoke starts coming out of its ear.
And it says dog pig, love bread, system error, chicken nugget tingle balls.
And it explodes and falls dead on the ground. Now,
Hang on, how can it fall down on the ground if it explodes?
and now it's up to Thornsley's turn.
Do something stupid.
Unpredictable.
No, do something stupid.
something stupid.
Well.
Do the worst thing you're worst at.
Well. What is?
Religion. Actually, no.
The athletics. No, maybe religion, and maybe he go like,
No athletics. You have.
Let him decide.
wait, yeah, I'm gonna do athletics, and I'm gonna do like rock, paper, scissors, 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 rock, paper, scissors.
Against.
Then I'm gonna punch him.
Okay, so you do that, and you go rock, paper, scissors, and
I do it like 100 times, and he gets kind of bored. Then I just punch him.
yep, and he matches your rock, paper, scissors, and every single one that you do, he does as well, because it's a perfect clone of you, and so it thinks the same, does the same, whatever. And then when you go to punch him, he also goes to punch you.
Fist bump.
And you actually take 2 damage, but it was too predictable, and so he's not dead.
But Dad,
So now it is Shadow Thornsley's turn.
but my unarmed strike is 1. So I'll automatically do 1 damage.
Also, you would have to roll
Yeah.
for attack.
Would I? Yeah, I would.
No, because you were doing an athletics check to do rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, and what did I roll?
The damage you take, is 2 as a result. Now, Shadow Thornsley, can you please roll for me a quarterstaff attack?
10. Shadow Thorns. What, do you mean me?
Yes. So roll a quarterstaff attack roll.
What's the quarter stuffy?
4.
So that misses, and he does nothing further. Saldrin, up to you. Cleric of Logic.
Cleric of logic should be stupid. I shall go on the floor and I should buck up a chicken nugget.
So roll a performance check for me, please. And so you get halfway through your chicken dance routine.
And also picking the floor, so if you have a 5, I'll probably have to go. You're smashing your head into the floor. Smashing my head into the floor. Climb.
Yeah, so you actually take 2 bludgeoning damage from that. However, the shadow version of yourself, Shadow Isaiah or Shadow Saldrin, looks again with bewilderment at the weird chicken display in front of it.
And he's like,
And he actually tries to do the same thing. He bends over to try and pretend to be a chicken and then hits his face so hard against the ground that the head of that construct pops off and you just see little wires sparking coming out and it is dead in front of you.
Hello.
So we're back to the top of the
I
order.
never going to deal for being stupid.
Gabriel.
going to go to Ebony. Wait, isn't Ebony?
It's only Thornsley's clone that's left.
Oh, I'm going to go to a Thornsley's clone and do the stupid chicken dance. I fly up and say,
Ooh, like I didn't stand.
but you don't have.
You don't have your wings.
You
Okay,
can
then
like jump up.
yeah, and go. Ooh, like I done stand.
And
And the top hat just floats down onto my head, and there's a cane there, and I do this with my cane, and
swings it around.
top hat keeps popping off and going back on while I'm doing the griddy.
So this time, Shadow Thornsley look at you and says, "I've seen this before," and nothing happens. All right, Ebonyclaw.
I'm gonna go to him, Shadow Thornsley, and then what's something we haven't done before that's stupid?
No.
Fall off a bridge made of
Go
glass.
on the floor and beat a dog and you're like woof woof woof. No, but don't do the woofing part and just say meow. I'm a dog.
Yeah, I'll do that. Meow, I'm a dog and I had 11. No, meow, I'm a dog and I had 11 kittens.
Let's.
I'm a dog. I have 11 kittens.
And so Shadow Thornsley looks at you and says, "That's very strange, but that does seem like something a bard would do."
What?
And so nothing happens. So now it's Thornsley's turn.
Teddy, what's something unpredictable that I know?
Do something stupid.
Unpredictable,
Smash
silly,
someone in the head with your pointy star.
Wait.
No,
something that doesn't help you win the battle.
Can I just say, would you give me the extra like spice or like room to like say that there was like let's say a little row of plants, just glass plants just there, and I'm like I'll just firebolt them and say, "Oh, I hate plants, I'm no longer a druid."
So do a firebolt attack roll.
Plants.
I know what I'm going to say.
Damage.
1d10. 4 damage.
So this row of plants that you see there gets totally obliterated with your only 4 damage because they're made of glass. And the Shadow Thorns that says, "Hey, a druid would never do this. They are lovers of bzz, bzz, bzz," and then explodes. And they're all dead.
As good as bread.
So as they all disappear and the last one falls to the ground, these reflections of you ultimately disappear. Now,
And I say, I'm a little deep on shoulders down.
Here with my hand and here with my snout.
as the last one of these perfect clones shatter, they fall into this piles of harmless bits and pieces, and as you look at them, they turn into a fine kind of dust like snow, much like you've seen much like the rest of the forest that you just escaped last time when you walked across the grove. And so the oppressiveness of the silence of this room is finally broken. And the hundreds of mirrors that have been hanging around, they all turn into normal, slightly dusty bits of glass. And you can actually see your real reflections again. They are smudged and scratched and a little bit messy, but they are completely real. Then the mirror at the very end of the hall dissolves entirely, and you see in front of you a large sweeping staircase leading up to a massive greenhouse. And from the top of the stairs, you hear these sad, heavy footsteps of a massive creature, followed by a faint, majestic glow of deep blue light. And that is where we will leave our adventure for today.
That's why I wanted to leave it.
Could we at least have gone up the staircase?
I took no damage in that battle. Lucky.
Oh, and
I only took 2 damage, but I had 4 temporary hit points.
DM,
Mm.
can I cast your wounds on myself? And
No, you can
can I
not.
cast Goodberry 2 times so I can heal myself fully?
No, you cannot.
Perhaps you can do that next time, but for now our adventure is at an end. And so players, thank you so much for your time around the table with us today.
You'll level up.
Again, as always, if you've been listening online and following our podcast along, we thank you for joining us. We ask that you will share this with whoever you think might find this interesting. And a special shout out as well to the Kids Table, the famous podcast and perhaps the first podcast of D&D playthrough for young children who are actually one of our subscribers. And so thank you to them for also joining us today. And around the table today we've had playing with us
As I played Saldrin,
Hugo played by Gabriel Brightwing.
Or vice versa.
Eddie playing Thornsley Shadowscale.
And Ruben playing Ebonyclaw Shadowtooth.
and I'm Chris, your DM for this adventure, and we look forward to seeing you again next time on Dad's Dungeon Dudes.
Dad's Dungeon Dudes.